I welcome you for this React Prerequisites for Beginners Part 1 training course. Full Stack Development. Full Stack Development refers to the end-to-end application software development, including the front end and back end. The front end consists of the user interface, and the back end takes care of the business logic and application workflows. Here you are able to see the various front end frameworks and back end frameworks which you can use in your full stack development projects. Some of the various front end frameworks are React.js, Ember.js, Backbone.js, Vue.js, Angular, Foundation. Some of the various backend frameworks are CakePHP, Ruby on Rails, Django, Spring Boot, ASP.NET, Express, Laravel, Node.js. Consider an e-commerce website. Users can browse products or items, add or delete items in the cart, change their account profile, and do many other settings. To perform all these actions by the users, it requires a front-end user interface as well as some business logic written in the backend. The front-end UI can be built using various front-end technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Angular, or Vue.js. The backend is written in programming languages like Java, C# or Python. Further, a good web application would need scalability, event handling, and routing, which are usually handled by libraries and frameworks like Spring Boot, Django, or .NET Framework. A full stack developer is one who can work on and implement both the front end and back end workflows in this e-commerce website. Full stack development involves working on both the front end and back end development. Main stack and merge stack. Main stack: MongoDB, Express.js, Angular, and Node.js. Merge stack: MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, Node.js. Main and merge stacks are widely used in developing web applications. The primary distinction between them is the front-end framework used, with main utilizing Angular and merge utilizing React.js for UI development. Main stack is a popular web development technology stack that is used to build dynamic and scalable web applications. It is an acronym that stands for MongoDB, Express.js, Angular, and Node.js, which are the main components of this stack. Merge stack is also a JavaScript-based technology stack used for building full-stack web applications. Merge is a term that refers to a combination of technologies used in the stack, which includes MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. Software developers in IT industry, who are called front-end developers. These developers handle the user interface of a web application or website. For example, visual effects, frames, navigation, and forms. They focus mainly on user experience and use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, React, Angular as programming languages or UI frameworks. Who are called backend developers? They deal with the business logic, security, performance, scalability, and handling request response of the application. They create or use frameworks to design the core application workflow and use technologies like JavaScript, Python, Java, and .NET. Who are called full stack developers? They are responsible for coding end-to-end workflows by using both front-end and back-end technologies. MERN stack and mean stack are examples of JavaScript-based technology stacks that full-stack developers can use to build end-to-end applications. Full-stack development. On front end, you can use various frameworks, UI frameworks. They are React, Angular, Vue.js, Ember.js, or Backbone.js. On backend, you can use Java, Spring Boot, C#, ASP.NET, Laravel, Django, Go language, or any other backend technologies. Databases, you can use MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, Oracle, MongoDB, and some more databases which you can use. On cloud, Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, OpenShift, DigitalOcean, or any other cloud service provider you can use. On DevOps, you can use various technologies like Jenkins, Docker, Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes. Microservices. On the left hand side, you can see the clients, web and mobile. Both the web and mobile are accessing the API gateway to interact with microservices. The microservices are catalog, shopping cart, discount, ordering. The catalog has its own database, shopping cart has got its own database, discount has got its own database, and ordering also has got its own database. Microservices. A microservice architecture consists of a collection of small autonomous services. Each service is self-contained and should implement a single business capability within the bounded context. A bounded context is a natural division within a business and provides an explicit boundary within which a domain model exists. Microservices are small, independent, and loosely coupled. A single small team of developers can write and maintain a service. Each service is a separate code base which can be managed by a small development team. Services can be deployed independently. A team can update an existing service without rebuilding and redeploying the entire application. Services are responsible for persisting their own data or external state. This differs from the traditional model where a separate data layer handles the data persistence mechanism. Services communicate with each other by using well-defined application programming interfaces. Internal implementation details of each service are hidden from other services. Microservices supports polyglot programming. For example, services don't need to share the same technology stack, libraries, or frameworks. API Gateway. The API Gateway is the entry point for clients. Instead of calling services directly, clients call the API Gateway, which forwards the call to the appropriate services on the backend. Advantages of using an API Gateway includes it decouples clients from services. Services can be versioned or refactored without needing to update all of the clients. Services can use messaging protocols that are not web friendly, such as AMQP protocol. The API Gateway can perform other cross-cutting functions, such as authentication, logging, SSL termination, and load balancing. Out-of-the-box policies like for throttling, caching, transformation, or validation. Micro frontends. Martin Fowler defined micro frontend architecture as an architectural style in which independently delivered frontend applications are assembled into a larger whole. The current web development trend involves building a front-end monolithic application that sits on top of a microservice architecture. But as developers on different teams contribute to this front-end monolithic, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain. The term micro front-end extends the concept of microservices to the front-end. A micro front-end is to the front-end what microservices are to the back-end. Essentially, the goal of a micro front-end is to treat a web application as a composition of features owned by different independent teams with different missions. Each team works end-to-end from databases to the UI. The next agenda is React and its prerequisites. I thank you for participating in this lecture. We'll see you in the next lecture.